I think Seva is like any of those Sanskrit words that has different levels of meaning. And in different contexts, it serves a different purpose. But from the yoga tradition perspective that I've learned, it has to do with what it is that we're in service to in our life. So on the internal level, Seva to me is, am I in service to my egoic identity in life, or am I in service to my soul? So if I take it right from that level first, what am I doing that is just serving my sense of self, my small identity, my needs, my instant gratifications, my ambitions? And then how much am I doing that is really in service to my soul and my soul's yearning? And then how to balance, those aspects in life. And then I think another important part of it is the idea of service and being of service is really great. And I think it's powerful for all of us to look at life through those eyes of how can I be of service? And I think the true service, it comes from a place where we feel so steady and satisfied and connected within ourselves that everything we do starts to become in service. So it's not that I'm running out to work for some nonprofit, but then I'm acting really incongruently at home or in my relationships with other people. So I was an activist for many years in my 20s, and I really cared about certain issues, and I dedicated a lot of time and energy to them, until what I started to see was this incongruency in the people, many of the people that I saw who were well-known activists at the time, that they weren't behaving in an optimal way in their personal lives. And so I lost a lot of faith around that because I recognized it, but it was also my greatest lesson because I realized at that moment that the being of service out there in the world was not going to do it unless you'd first learned to come to terms with a lot of the discrepancies and fractures and splits within your own person. And so for me, Seva, actually, as with all yoga, has to start on the inside. We have to figure out how we can come to a place of balance and steadiness and natural love and compassion so that Seva becomes a natural outflowing from that. On the flip side, having said that, I always remember Yogi Bhajan said to a student who was really caught in layers and layers and layers and layers of conditioned thinking and in deep depression and couldn't pull him or herself out of it, I'm not sure who it was. And Yogi Bhajan said, you need to go and find somebody who's worse off than you are and serve that person. So I do see that there's also an element that if you're so caught in your own psychotic, neurotic nature that you can't see a way out, sometimes just that act of serving others starts to move the flow of energy in a more helpful direction. But I think that's a different level of service than the level that happens once we have created that natural overflowing from ourselves. And I think it's an important question, and I think many of us can just look at it from the idealistic perspective of, oh, I want to serve. But let's first get in service to our soul and ourself in that level.